For years, the Mercedes-AMG CLA 45 built its reputation on a very specific piece of engineering, a highly aggressive 2.0-liter turbocharged four-cylinder internal combustion engine. For the 2026 model, that mechanical legacy is gone. Mercedes-AMG has abandoned petrol entirely for the CLA 45, committing the nameplate to a strictly electric future. In its place is a powertrain producing 680 horsepower, delivering up to 670 kilometers of range, and launching the car from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 2.7 seconds. That presents a major risk. AMG built a loyal, purist fanbase around the sound, vibration, and mechanical feedback of combustion. Abandoning a successful, proven formula to meet future performance standards is an aggressive gamble that risks alienating those owners. To survive the transition to electric power, AMG decided they couldn't simply iterate. They had to dismantle their own history to rebuild the concept of compact performance from the ground up. That fresh start immediately slammed into a core engineering conflict. Giving an electric vehicle supercar-level power requires massive battery packs, and that weight usually makes a car feel slow and bloated in the corners. AMG had to force 680 horsepower and a dense electrical architecture into the tight proportions of a compact sedan, all while trying to maintain the agility of the outgoing car. They achieved this through aggressive physical adaptations. The front wings are widened by 24 millimeters to house a broader track, and the fascia adopts a low-slung shark nose to slice through the air more efficiently. Airflow management dictates the rear, too. An active spoiler automatically adjusts its angle based on vehicle speed, minimizing drag to preserve rein on straights, or increasing downforce to keep the rear tires pinned during fast cornering. These exterior lines serve a strict mathematical purpose, forcing physics to keep a heavy, hyper-fast EV securely planted on the tarmac. Underneath that aerodynamic shell sits a 94 kilowatt-hour LFP battery. This power source feeds a specialized tri-motor all-wheel drive system. This diagram shows the critical difference in the technology AMG chose. Instead of using a standard radial flux EV motor, the CLA 45 uses axial flux motors. By running the electromagnetic flux parallel to the axle rather than perpendicular, these units are dramatically flatter and lighter. Because of that tight design, this setup generates 1,759 newton-meters of torque, more than 3 times the output of the previous combustion engine, housed in a significantly smaller physical package. While one motor sits on the front axle, 2 are mounted at the rear, operating entirely independently. This enables precise torque vectoring, pushing different amounts of power to the left or right wheels mid-corner, and allows for a dedicated drift mode. Keeping those motors fed is an 800-volt architecture. That high voltage allows the car to utilize 330 kilowatt DC fast chargers, pulling in enough electricity to add 270 kilometers of range in a mere 10 minutes. Mastering this miniaturized power density was the only way AMG could solve the EV weight penalty, granting supercar dynamics to a daily towable sedan. The interior matches that high-tech execution. The cabin is built around a 4-seat bucket layout, and the dashboard is dominated by the triple-display hyperscreen setup. But here in the cockpit, AMG had to solve a subjective problem. Electric powertrains are fast, but they are also silent and perfectly smooth. They lack the visceral, physical connection that usually defines a sports car. To solve this, engineers developed AMG Force S+. This digital system is engineered to simulate a mechanical soul inside the electric architecture. The system relies on intense sensory mapping. During development, AMG used 13 microphones to capture the exact acoustic signature of the old M139 engine. The CLA 45 digitally recreates that soundtrack in the cabin, while haptic shakers in the bucket seats vibrate to match the simulated RPMs. Sound and vibration are only part of the illusion. When the driver pulls the paddle, the car artificially interrupts the delivery of torque, physically jolting the chassis to mimic the mechanical slam of a combustion gearshift. AMG is effectively selling a mathematical simulation. They killed their internal combustion engine, then programmed a digital replica of its mechanical flaws and raw emotion to keep the driver engaged. That combination of hyper-efficient hardware and simulated emotion drops the CLA 45 into a highly contested arena against established electric titans. This is the Tesla Model 3 performance. The CLA 45 has to prove its raw acceleration and rear motor drift mode can rival the brutal, Spartan efficiency that Tesla has perfected. It also has to contend with the BMW i4 M50. AMG is aiming for superior interior luxury and high-speed Autobahn stability to lure buyers away from Munich's traditional dynamics. Finally, the 800-volt charging architecture and premium pricing pit it against the Porsche Taycan, the current benchmark for high-end electric performance. The CLA 45 refuses to fight in just one category. Its goal is to aggressively steal the defining traits from all three segment leaders at once. The 2026 CLA 45 operates on a duality. It is half cutting-edge raw physics and half highly calculated digital illusion. How the market responds to this simulated emotion will dictate the entire engineering direction of the AMG brand. If buyers accept the artificial gear shifts and mapped acoustics, it provides the template for every future model from Affalterbach. Which leaves us with the ultimate question: is a perfectly mapped digital experience a valid replacement for the mechanical violence of a traditional V8? The CLA 45 makes its stance clear. It proves the future of performance driving isn't about losing the thrill, but rather rebuilding it entirely out of code and electricity.
This video, and subscribe to the channel for more.